We are joined, as we are every other Monday, by finance expert and author of Never Date a Broke Dude and CEO of the Flex Financial Freedom Academy, Pattie Ehsaei. Pattie, good to see you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. We were just talking about some of our end-of-year financial priorities on this end, but you are coming to us, okay, we are now at November 3rd. Halloween is in the rearview mirror. What would you like our viewers to keep in mind as we cruise toward the end of 2025 here? What should they be keeping in mind financially?
Yes, so the new year is right around the corner, and this is the perfect time to set your financial goals. So there's 4 things that I want everyone to do, okay? So the first one is I want you to review and adjust your budget. Look at your budget, see what you're spending a lot of money on that you shouldn't be spending a lot of money on, like buying lunch every day or the coffee that you're buying every day. Cut that out and set a new budget and a new plan for the new year. Then you want to max out on your retirement contributions. This is really important. So on your 401k, if you're under 50, $23,500 is the max. If you're over 50, you get an extra $7,500. Or in your IRA, $7,000 max. If you're under 50, over 50 is $8,000. And this is a great way to also get tax breaks because the money that you contribute to these retirement plans are not taxable income. So don't forget that. Next, you want to tackle high interest debt. And this is the debt that is taking the most money out of your pockets, okay? So list all your debt. See what is the highest interest, start paying that off and fast. Even if you have to get a side hustle to do it because you want to start off the new year fresh, you don't want to be stressed, and this will also increase your credit score. And lastly, set your financial goals for the year. Do you have an emergency fund? Are you saving for a home? And set realistic goals, because if you set realistic goals and you reach them, you become motivated to set more and more goals. So that is super important, is for the new year, what are your financial goals, and take steps towards it.
Okay, so Pattie, you kind of listed these. Are these in order of priority? So you mentioned getting a second job, if that's not an option, but you also cannot max out your 401k or your IRA while also paying off this debt so fast. Is this your list of first priority to last?
No, I always say paying off debt is your number 1 priority.
Okay.
You never want to have debt. You want to make sure that you pay off debt, then have an emergency fund after that and savings, and then you want to max out your retirement and then set a budget.
Maybe we can kind of drill down into these 4 things kind of in a little bit more detail. For number 1, which is review and adjust your budget, are there any easy tricks to quickly kind of do a little internet errand, maybe a 10 or 15 minute internet errand, as I like to call them, where you can really zeroing in on some of these overspending areas?
Yes, sign up for a budgeting app. That is the first thing you can do. And it will literally take you 5 minutes to sign up and attach all your accounts to this budgeting app. I really like Rocket Money because it's simple. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Sign up for the budgeting app. It'll take 5 minutes, and it will tell you where your biggest spending habits are. And most people have absolutely no idea. So knowledge is power.
Okay, then if we move to number 2, which, by the way, number 1, the budgeting app, every dollar is a good one too, if you guys look it up.
Okay, by the way, Pattie, we do use Rocket.
Oh, do you?
Rocket,
yeah.
No,
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So good. Okay, so number 2, with retirement, if you are contributing and investing, do you have any recommendations to get the max amount for our dollar? Maybe is there any free advice that we could find online or otherwise financially for these investments that we're putting into our 401k or Roth IRA?
So it really depends on your age and also where you are in your risk profile, okay? So if you're younger, you can take a little bit more risk than someone who's older and is going to retire in 5 years. So if you're younger, I would say under 30 or even maybe under 40, your risk profile can be a little bit higher. So you can look at your 401k contributions, and you have professionals, obviously, they're investing in your 401k. Your IRA should also have some type of professional investing in it. But The risk profile should be a little bit more if you're under 40, but if you're over 40, then you want to transfer into like more bonds and things that are less risk adverse.
Okay. One more question about checking how much we've contributed. Is there a way to do that easily? Are most of the websites, Fidelity comes to mind, where you can go and see your 2025 contributions like in one picture, or do you have to do digging?
No, absolutely. They make it so simple. Literally, you just go to the first page and it'll say summary, and typically the summary comes up right away.
Okay.
If not, you'll see a place that says summary. Click on that and it will tell you how much you've contributed, what you're invested in, what your risk profile is. They make it very simple.
Okay, our next point is tackling high interest debt. So if we're tackling this debt, I know we talked about this briefly before, but maybe viewers that are watching now missed it. Are there options to get those lower interest rates? Let's say opening another credit card that has no interest or zero APR for 12 months or whatever you see those commercials for. Is that a good route to go?
That is only if you're disciplined enough not to use that credit card, and you're disciplined enough to follow the rules of that credit card and pay it off before the zero interest ends. Because those zero interest credit cards, they are meant to grab you and have you spend more on that card and not pay it off before the zero interest. Otherwise, why would they give you zero interest? It doesn't benefit them. They're in the business of making money, right? So understand that, and if you're disciplined enough to do that, great. But if you're not, then you need to stick with the old traditional way of paying off debt, which is just pay more into it, spend less.
Okay, a lot of folks out there may not be in a financial position or a place in their career where they can have a 401k or any retirement accounts. People who are just getting started off. Pattie, I'm going to put you on hold just for a second. We're going to take a 60-second break, and when we come back, we're going to get Pattie's thoughts on starting out and what our financial goals should be if we haven't yet set up those retirement accounts. So more from Pattie Ehsaei when we come back right after this. Welcome back, 10:18. We are continuing our conversation with Pattie Ehsaei. Before we went to break, Pattie, it just occurred to me that a lot of people watching, especially online, they may be hearing a 401k, IRA. Man, I'm just living paycheck to paycheck here. I'm struggling to keep my credit card down. I've finally gotten to the point where I am debt-free. My credit cards are paid down. I got a little bit in savings. What do you think for that, for the individual in that particular financial situation? What would be your advice for a first step to kind of keep building on that momentum?
Any dollar that you can contribute to investing matters. Even if it's $5, even if it's $10, it doesn't matter. The point is to start investing and put your money in an investment account. It doesn't matter how much you're contributing. So I can tell you the easiest steps to investing, because people just get so intimidated. So if you're not working for an organization that has a 401k, that has a professional doing this for you, this is what you need to do. You need to open an investment account. I like Fidelity or Schwab because they're reputable, but any platform is fine. But just make sure that they are not charging you fees for trades, because that's where people really lose a lot of money, okay? So open an account, and what you do is every month you put money in that investment account, whatever that amount is. And what you do is you buy ETFs and index funds. You don't need to buy the hot stock. You don't need to buy Google. You don't need to buy Amazon. You don't need to do that. You buy index funds. And actually on my website, pattieehsaei.com, you can go and see what I am invested in. So it will tell you exactly what the index funds are that I am invested in. So you don't even have to guess, because those are the ones that I've done research on. And you do that every single month, and you just let that build. And over time, that money is going to build, 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 even if it's a small amount. So just contribute what you can, because the biggest point in investing is starting early.
So we don't have to totally wipe out debt before we invest, right? You said kind of do both at the same time, make a list of your debts. Okay, so what if we have kids? That's a whole nother layer. Maybe we're saving for their college funds as well. Again, I know I asked you this off the top, like priority list, but should we be doing all of it at once, or should we really kind of be hyper-focusing on a certain thing first and then move on to the next? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, like I said, debt is the first thing. You don't want to be in debt. That is the worst thing that can happen, is for you to continue to be in debt, because it's hard to get out of. So make sure you focus on debt, but you should be investing, like I said, even if it's a small amount. And one thing about children that I want people to understand, having money to invest for your children, for their college funds and things like that, is fantastic. It's great. If you're a parent and you can afford to do that, that's wonderful. However, you have no obligation to do that. You really need to look out your financial well-being first, because your kids are going to go on, they're going to work, they have their whole lives to build a career, to get money, right, to earn money. They have their whole lives to do that. If you are in a situation where you don't have a lot of money, you need to really take care of your finances, because once you get old, you have to have a contingency plan on how you're going to live on retirement, and your kids are not that plan.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Before we let you go, Pattie, when you say, hey, just get started investing, doesn't matter how low, to clarify, you'd still advise going onto a Schwab or a Fidelity, setting something up, even if you're contributing, I don't know, I'm just going to throw out some hypotheticals here, $100 a month, $50 a month, that's still a good thing?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you start in your 20s and just contribute $100 a month, okay, by the time you retire, you're going to have almost $500,000.
Wow.
That's just with $100 a month. Right, because of compound interest, and people don't understand that. One thing is if you're going to be contributing small amounts, make sure that the platform that you're using allows you to buy fractional shares. And Fidelity does that, Schwab does that, but what that means is that you are able to buy a fraction of a share of an index fund or a stock, because some of the stocks may be too expensive, maybe $200, for example, and you're only contributing $50, you're like, well, I don't have the money to buy the stock. It's okay. If they allow you to buy fractional shares, that is the best way to do it, because you can just do $50 and a fraction of that stock.
This is great, Pattie.
One last question.
Caitlin's got one.
I know we got to wrap, but I forgot to ask this question. If you have a savings account, do you have any recommended high interest savings accounts that we could put our emergency fund in that will gather interest fast?
Yes, I think SoFi has a high interest savings account, but you also can look at treasury bills, okay? T-bills are now paying almost 5%. So look at T-bills. Yeah, they're about 4.5%, 5%. I do not keep my money in a savings account. I put it in T-bills because they're liquid. So the point is that you want to make sure that whatever money is in your savings account is liquid, so you can access it fast. But yeah, SoFi has a high interest savings account. But if you just Google, it will tell you all of the financial institutions that have them.
Beautiful.
Inspiring us to get our house in order. Thank you so much, Pattie.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that advice.
Have a great day. Thank you for having me.